Alex is in Harrow. Alex, good evening. What's your question?
Good evening. Thank you for taking my call, first of all. And I'm a medical courier, which means at times during the night I'm supposed to take items from one hospital to a laboratory and back. During this shift, whilst waiting for the pickup of the items to be ready, I waited in the hospital parking lot. In the drop-off and pickup area, where the time limit is 20 minutes. Because of the nature of the job, my waiting time was way past that, usually around an hour and a half. So about 2 weeks after these jobs have been completed, I've got hit with about 10 parking tickets, summing up to about £600.
Wow.
I appealed against it. My company appealed against it.
So who is your company? Are you employed by the hospital or are you employed by an independent agency?
It's a service provider.
Okay.
It's a courier company.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name it,
Yeah.
of course. And the parking management company doesn't move. From their point of view, I was there in the drop-off area. And may I add, there is... their take on it is that I was supposed to wait during the night in the street outside the hospital premises. Yeah. Which, from a security personnel point of view, it doesn't really make sense. Can I do anything about it, legal-wise? Okay, so the starting point is the person who should be speaking to the private car park company on your behalf is the hospital, not your employer. We may be pressing up against time limits here in terms of this has to be done quite quickly. I'm well aware of that, yes. But it's the hospital who has the negotiating power here because the hospital is the organisation that gives the contract to enforce parking tickets to the private parking ticket company. And the hospital They're standing behind the parking ticket company.
Oh, so the hospital doesn't back you up?
No.
That's a bit mean of them.
I know.
Okay. In which case your other option... is to use the parking company's independent appeals service. Now, there are going to be there are two trade organisations that govern private parking tickets. Each of them has their own separate appeal service, which is independent of the parking company. Parking companies never let people off tickets. If they did, they wouldn't have any money coming in. So you can always expect to get a big fat no coming off the parking company. But once they say no, and once you use their internal appeal, you then have another stage, which is to go to a service, depending on which trade body they're aligned with. It's either called the Independent Appeal Service, or the other one is called POPLA, P-O-P-L-A. But on the back of your ticket, it'll give information about how to use those services, how to appeal to them, and what to do. Now, those decisions are taken by independent persons, and they tend to go much more for the fair result as opposed to the strict legal result. But of course, you were caught bang to rights, unfortunately. And I have immense sympathy for you. Normally, I don't have people who get sympathy for people who get parking tickets because they're usually the authors of their own misfortune. But with you, Alex, I completely understand why you are really peeved, and quite justifiably so. I would definitely go down the Poplar route or the other independent appeal route, and I think you've got a decent chance, but I'm not going to put it any higher than that, a decent chance of getting those tickets set aside. But for goodness sake, make sure you hit the time limits set out on the back of the tickets, because if you don't, your appeal will be thrown out without even being thought about on its merits.
I had to give up that particular job. I'm not going there anymore.
Well, that doesn't stop you appealing.
Yes, I will. I will for sure. No, I'll fight this to the end because it's over a week's pay for me. So
yeah, Alex, good luck. Will you phone in again and let us know what happens in a few weeks' time?
Of course. Yep. Of course. All right. Thank you so much. I wasn't aware of the two ways. I will use them for sure. Thank you so much again.